like broke them up really weird. So it was like it would show some types of parking, like if
Yeah.
it was just faculty and staff or just a handicap parking, it would show like a different color for that, and then it would have like all different types, and that would just be generalized with the rest of them.
I think I know what you mean. The multiple attributes tool is a little bit, it's funky. So one way you can get around that is by duplicating the layer in the table of contents a few times. So if I right click and I hit copy, and then I right click on layers and I hit paste, and then I right click and I hit paste again, and I right click and I hit paste again, now we have something to work with. So I can do like, and there's a million ways to go from here, right? You can, I was thinking originally it would be like, one would be, could be size, one could be color, one could be labels, you know, something like that. So if we did symbology categories and just the type by size is a good start. Oh, I always take off the all other values because
I think that's what was like what was messing it up.
Oh.
Because it was like when I had that click, the all other values like would just be their own thing.
Yeah, I think. I wonder what the problem was. Was it? Were you doing it in multiple attributes tool, though? Because sometimes, so just so everybody can see, the multiple attributes tool, right, is this one at the bottom, and you should be able to do a 2 fields of like type, and then I add all values, and that adds a dot with the types. And then
I tried it under that after we had issues with categories and it did the same thing. But when we first did it, it was under categories. But like I can even see it's doing it again here.
Oh.
Some of them should start with like residential unless it's like alphabetical. But there should be one that just starts with residential, and that should be a lot of the parking lots. I don't know if it breaks it up with like.
There's 8 of them. Maybe show me what you have. Do you have it on your computer?
What do you
like I just want to see what you ended up with that you didn't like.
I just sent you a screenshot.
Oh, sorry.
Like the different spots with the P on it for parking. Like I didn't get to this point where I could do different colors.
Mine is like that. The one I sent.
Whoops, sorry.
I mean, I didn't do the same thing. Mine was like bushes and shrubs. That's how I do it.
See, but you wanted to color those.
Yeah, I wanted to
Okay.
different.
So, well, that's pretty straightforward. Because, I mean, tell me if it's not, though, obviously. If I did the old P.
I had to search parking.
Awesome. Look at that one. Fancy. Alright, let's go with the classic P. And then I hit add all. That actually worked okay. So this is, I was just something I was going to show you today, is how to make your own symbols. And this kind of gets into that, I think. So what happens with these symbols, they can drive you crazy sometimes. If you use like some of the 3D symbols, that's just an image, right? So you can't do much with that. You can use actual pictures as symbols, but I wouldn't go there. The thing to get used to is there are 2 types of symbols that really use all the time. They're simple and then cartographic. And if you go into the Edit Symbol button, you can see what I mean. So let's start with a simple marker symbol. Of course, there's a 3D I mentioned, and then character and simple are the ones that I use. Sorry, I meant character, not cartographic when I said that earlier. Simple is very simple, right? You just have a color, and then you have a shape, and you only can get circles, squares, diamonds, and you have a size, and then you have an outline, and you can use it or not. The best looking outline is 0.4 width on the screen, right? Anyway, So that just made a little dot, but let's go backwards a little bit, get my P back. When we first went in here, though, it had a character marker symbol going, and what this means is ArcMap builds symbols with fonts on your computer. I don't know if you knew this, but like when you install Word or Microsoft, it installs like hundreds of fonts on your computer. You see those right like in the Word when you drop down, you see all the different types. Those are also available here, right? So when you install ArcMap, it installs a whole bunch of fonts as well, and those all begin with ESRI, the company that makes ArcMap. But if you go to the top, you know, Arial, right? That's a pretty typical font. You can use any of those symbols that are in the Arial font. There's a lot more than your keyboard can type on your map. So look at that. I mean, there's tons of these things. I mean, you could use the croquet wicket. It's an important one. Or the saxophone. But there are also ones that are Esri, right? So if we go in here, we can see this one was built by Esri so that they're just map fonts, right? And the thing is, if I pick one of them, whatever that is, I can also layer them on top of each other. So this little window over here, if I hit plus, I can add another symbol onto that stack. I can say, all right, well, then I also want a big plus on it. And all these, you know, I can make this big fat plus behind everything, and if I move it down, it goes behind the other two things. And then I have a plus with a little square in it. And then I can keep adding things to this. And I've built some crazy ones, and like it can get, staring at the screen gets a little crazy. But the point is that when you mentioned you wanted to get this P colorized differently for each of those types.
Well, not specifically the P, just like I couldn't figure out how to get to that point where I could have the different colors for each thing.
So
that's why I just
the
use like a general.
yeah, you mean like the unique values thing?
Yeah. Because I could only get the one, like that was before I figured out how the categories thing.
Okay. So maybe what happened was just simple. Well, anyway, we got that in. I was going to tell you that anyway today. What you do if you want to apply the same symbol in different colors to things, you click on the top symbol here, and you just pick a shape you like, and then you hit add all values. Oh my God, you guys are all going to ask me questions about this.
That's supposed to be recording.
It is. I'm still guessing that you're all going to ask me questions about it. You just click on this top one, and then you pick a shape, and then you hit add all values. And whatever color ramp you were using up here is what it'll use to apply to all the values below. So then you get your shape and your color differences. And what I was saying is, let's say you also wanted to show which ones were handicapped. You could even have no symbol. Oh, why that's still showing up there. No symbol, right? So that's got nothing except a label. So I turn labels on and they have the wrong thing. So if I go to properties and labels, I can tell it's a label by handicapped. And then I get the little yeses and nos on them. So you could have that be your map.
And how do you duplicate the layer again on the left?
So right click on it, copy, and then right click on layers, which is your data frame group, and then just paste. You get another one.